When Dennis Hopper appeared on Sonya Live on April 5th, 1991, he was promoting his film, Paris Trout, that was debuting on Showtime that weekend. The film mostly dealt with race relations in the Deep South in the middle part of the last century and the struggles to gain equality. Sonya honed in on another aspect of the film, why Barbara Hershey's character is so drawn to such an evil guy as Paris Trout. And the discussion kind of shifted as much as Sonya could to why do so many women make that choice.
Boy, do his haunting characters stick in our memories. Giant, Easy Rider, Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet, just a few of the movies that Dennis Hopper has made in his long career. He's also done more than his share of television and film directing, and now he's starring with Barbara Hershey and Ed Harris in the cable movie Paris Trout. The film is set in a small southern town in the early 1950s. Hopper's character, Paris Trout, is convinced that he won't be convicted of murdering a black.
I was out there to collect on a damn car. Somebody got shot. They did it themselves.
Ms. Mary says in that case shot herself 3 times in the back.
Same as if she jumped in front of a train. You don't blame the engineer. There's a set of natural rules that was here before any of us.
Well, I have a rule for you, Mr. Trout. The state of Georgia wrote it down in the penal code. It says you cannot enter another person's house and shoot them dead. The rule is an eye for an eye.
They ain't the same kind of eyes.
Paris Trout premieres April 20th on Showtime, and we welcome Dennis Hopper now.
Thank you so much.
You know, you have a little boy who's how old now?
Henry Lee is 6 months old.
6 months old. And maybe in a few years, Henry Lee's going to get to see his daddy in a variety of parts on his home video, right in his own house or on cable television. And he's going to look at you and say, "You didn't, Pop, you didn't."
Yeah, well, yeah, he was born, actually, when we were shooting a scene down there in Atlanta.
Don't you think there's a chance he's going to ask you a question about how come you always play these mean old men beating on these women and other people?
Yeah, probably. Well, you know, I'm just going to tell him that I was just one of the better actors around and nobody else was available to play those parts, and no one could play them as good as I could.
Now, when you come home at the end of shooting a movie like this, where you take Barbara Hershey's beautiful, vulnerable face and body and shove it into a bathtub and hold her down there, does your wife ever look at you and say, "Anything you want, dear"? I mean, I'll just willing to read your mind.
No. You know, Barbara's a great actress, and she's very professional. And those scenes look strange, but they're really very easy to do, actually.
Listen, I'm still haunted by Blue Velvet. I have to admit that to you. The idea of women as really vulnerable figures on the screen has to be something that you consider. Why the society is drawn to it, the message that comes from that. In a movie like this, is there a message?
In Paris Trout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it's like looking at the Holocaust to me. It's looking back in 1948, looking at the preconditioning that this man had in his life, this Southern man who had a general store, and how his feelings that had been programmed into him about blacks, how he felt that killing a black was like killing a hunting dog, and where do you pay the fine? And I think that we have to be reminded of these things. And also, we're also dealing with a very sick man, besides the fact that he was preconditioned in this bigotry.
There's a little bit of that sick man in a lot of people, though. And I think that's part of, perhaps, in viewing it, I thought to myself, a woman as a possession. You're mine till death do us part, even if I kill you. You're mine. But the question that disturbed me most, and I wondered if you saw this, was there an attempt to show that Barbara Hershey's character was an accomplice in some ways in her own destruction? I mean, she stays and stays and in some ways actually continues to provoke this crazed man.
Well, it's a lot more in the book, and unfortunately, we can't get into movies, into inner thoughts, and that's a problem when you translate things from a book. But I heard Barbara give an interview, and Barbara said, they said, how can you be victimized by this man and play these kind of roles? And she said, wait a second, I'm an accomplice to this. And my character was attracted to the darker elements in this man, and it was unfortunate that we got together.
Do you think that that's an important recognition for women to have?
Well, I don't know, but I thought it was really interesting that she said that, and I went,
me too.
You know, I mean, I thought that was really brave of her, and also an actress who's really involved in the role and in the novel. She was very much supporting the novel at that point. But I think that if women want to stop this, I think they're the first ones to be able to stop it rather than the man. I think the man is grown up, unfortunately, a lot of men are grown up with very confused ideas about women, depending upon their relationship with their mother. And that can be very confusing.
Yeah, very interesting material, I think, that comes out in this. Now, you act and you direct in the best of all worlds. Would you like to do everything or one or the other more than...
Well, you know, I love acting, and I feel that I'm getting better and better.
Well, you're pretty good at it.
Yeah. I feel like, especially in Paris Trout, I've really materialized, I mean, my body movements and my accent.
You mean your waddle?
The Paris Trout waddle. I just, I feel that I really physicalized a part stronger than I've probably ever done. But if it came down to whether I would act or direct, I would prefer directing. I feel at the end of it more accomplished because you have control of everything, and I really love directing.
As an actor, if there are things you don't want to do and you don't think they're right, can you stand up and say, I know this person because I now am this person, at least while I'm here. He would never do that.
You know, I try not to. When I come in as an actor to a director, I will suggest things, and if the director says, I really feel that I want this, I'll do it, even though I don't agree with it. And I won't go against the director. I wouldn't let an actor go against me, and I just won't do it to another director.
That's fair.
However, you know, usually that never happens, really. But directors will give me things that I don't want to do, and I'll go ahead and do them.
Yeah. You would think I was fair if I said that Paris Trout is strong stuff. And that we would suggest that some people may be very disturbed by it. It's very interesting, no question. A fascinating story based on the true story of a man's life. Thank you for being with us today.
Okay, thank you so much.
When we continue, we're going to find out a little bit more about Madison Avenue and ask, has it lost its luster?
Hey, you forgot your car, mister. You leave it out here in the alley. Somebody come along, tear it up worse than it is.
It ain't nothing to me one way or the other.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Thanks for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like staring into the sun with me, hit the subscribe button. There's Patreon and GoFundMe information in the video descriptions. Thanks for the support, and thanks for making the channel grow.